Well, we have a flat tire on the tractor, so in this video we're going to go through the process of how to fix it. We're going to go ahead and fill this tire up with air and then spray soapy water on it so we can find where the leak is, and then we'll be able to plug it. Definitely looks like the tire is starting to come up a little bit. Now we'll pour that soapy water along the tread or in the bead here, looking for the leak. You'll see it, it'll start to really bubble up like soapy water does. I can hear it around here, and sure enough, there's our bubbles. And that's not a great sign. That means that the leak is on the bead. I like it better whenever it's actually on the tire. That's where we can plug it and it's done. This means we either have to take the whole wheel off, take out the tire and put like slime in there, or repair the wheel on the bead. It's a lot harder when it's like this, especially whenever this tractor weighs so much. It's not easy to get this wheel off. What we're gonna have to do is fill this with slime. Slime, or like Fix-A-Flat, will seal that from the inside and keep it from leaking, except we're gonna have to remove the seal in there. It's like a one-way air valve that lets the air in but won't let it back out. Or just the slime. It has the clear tube you'll use to actually insert it into the tire. It's got some instructions. One of the things that we don't have with this kit anymore is the cap that you would use this to attach it with. So what we're gonna do is just take the cap that's on here now, drill a hole. It's the same size as this plastic tube, and then we'll be able to put this back on, and that'll act as the adapter. We drilled this out a little bit too small on purpose, just so I can ream it to the exact right size. I ground a little chamfer on the end of the hose, so that slides right in there, and hopefully that'll seal. They make tools to take out the Schrader valves, but you can just use a pair of needle nose and then we'll twist and take it out. I'm gonna go in here and grab onto that flat spot. It'll be easier to see what I'm talking about once I get it out. There it is. We'll let all this air out and then we'll be able to put this on and fill it with the slime. We'll have to cut off this seal. It's not wanting to come off. This stuff is really green. The black speckles in here kind of make it look like mint chocolate chip. We'll go ahead and put our cap on. Now it would be easier if this valve was down at the bottom, where this would really drain into it, but I mean, it's not, so. And we'll squeeze the bottle, and wow, that is really interesting looking stuff, and we'll just put it into the tire. I think I know what these black specks are for. The black specks, they'll tell you which direction it's flowing and how fast it's flowing. I think if it was just the green slime, you would have a hard time seeing where it's flowing or what direction or how fast it was flowing. It seems to be going in really easy. I just have the bottle tipped up and then that's flowing in really well. Sometimes it seems like every time you go outside to work, it rains. You can see it's raining right now. It's not too heavy, but it's kind of a nuisance. And there's the rest of the bottle. These flat spots right here is where I'm grabbing onto, so I'm grabbing it just like that. And you gotta get some thin pliers. You can see it gets real thin near the tip, so it's just below those threads. That's what makes it so you're able to thread this back in. We'll thread this back in place. Now we'll go ahead and just snug up that Schrader valve. Now we'll go ahead and pump this up and see if it holds pressure. We just pumped this up and you can see it's still leaking there. Now that was expected because we poured the fluid in and it would probably just all flow down to the bottom. None of it reached up here. So what we're gonna do is take the lifter and push the tractor up so these wheels are off the ground. Then we'll just be able to spin the tire by hand and evenly coat the whole wheel. The ground, we're just going to spin this wheel and start to circulate that slime, hopefully get it into that seam. As I rotated the tire around, I saw another leak here. You can see the soapy water got there and it's bubbling up. The other one was right here by the stem and it's right there, you can hear it. So it looks like there's two spots on the bead where it's broken. Make sure and spin this wheel. I think the leak is now stopped. Right there is where our leak was. If I put some water on there, soapy water, I'm not seeing any more bubbles coming up around there. And same over here on the other side. I mean, it's almost totally gone now. Wait, I think I hear something over here. right there. That's actually a new spot that wasn't leaking before, I think. But I'm just gonna keep spinning this wheel, but like this spot isn't leaking anymore, which is where it was leaking. So that's a good sign. I'm just gonna keep spinning this and hopefully keep circulating that slime. I don't see or hear any more bubbles. The bubble is right kind of above the nozzle and over. I don't see anything, so that looks good. And around the tire, I don't see any bubbles, so we can probably put some more pressure in here. Now, I'm not sure if I would recommend this on a actual car tire you'd be using on the highway. You can see this is not balanced. If I put like the tire over here and let it go, it just goes to one side. This would obviously be very bad. If it was like a street legal car, it would be bouncing all over the place. But since this is a tractor tire that probably never will exceed like 3 miles an hour, it's fine. It doesn't need to be balanced. It probably wasn't the most balanced wheel to begin with, but this stuff at least would get you home if you had to. It definitely fixed that leak. So I wouldn't recommend it as a long-term solution for a street legal car. This obviously is not a street legal car. I think this will probably do the job. Now we'll go ahead and add some more pressure into the tire. Alright, this is at 35 psi and it's still holding pressure. I don't see any bubbles around the rim. That's a really encouraging sign. At first, it was definitely leaking pretty bad around that seat. I was also a little bit skeptical if it would work or not, but it did its job. It coated the inside and it's not leaking anymore, and it's definitely holding under pressure. So I hope you guys found this video useful. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.